Welcome to Critical Questions, the antidote to lockdown boredom. I've trawled the internet for the best, worst, most interesting and ridiculous dumb questions I can find, and with any luck, my guests will be able to answer all of them. Today, we have got with us Godless Granny. Who is lagging?
Oh, who? What? Huh?
So today we got with us Godless Granny. And Santi The Sane.
Hola.
Hola.
Paul Cammish.
Hello, everybody.
Godless Scummer.
Oi, oi.
And Jenni Morgan.
Oofda.
Oofda. Right. Has everyone had a good evening? Are you all sober?
Yes.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Ish. No personal question.
The day is young.
Oh, it's the weekend. We have to have fun.
Stream is young.
The stream is young. Have you all got exciting
no.
plans for? Go
I'm
on.
gonna try and behave myself without alcohol today because I've got another stream to do later, so I'm not gonna get wasted.
Oh, so you'll not get wasted for other streams, but my stream it's okay.
Yeah, kind of. Come on, it makes it more interesting when I drink. To be honest.
Very much so. Right, let's have some questions.
Oh boy! This is the good part.
This is the good part. Question 944. How would you describe humanity to an alien civilization?
I would just tell them to run and keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep going. Don't stop here. Keep going.
Nothing to
That's
see
not
here.
really a description, though, is it? I mean, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy says mostly harmless. I'm not convinced I agree with that.
What?
Mostly harmless.
I would say
Yeah,
we are.
no.
I'd say we are a species of sentient beings seeking other sentient beings, both on our planet and on others. Some of us are capable of great compassion, but some of us are capable of great harm.
Randy Bigfoot says, one word, Kim Kardashian.
That's actually 2 words.
I think that sums it up perfectly.
No, two words, but one nightmare.
Oh.
I would say similar to Granny that there's many of them who can be very compassionate, many of them who can be very dangerous. Either way, just leave. You don't want anything to do with them. They're pretty sure they'll contaminate you.
They will try and exploit you.
Oh, and they're quite tasty.
Quite tasty. That's not going to help.
I suppose it's going to depend upon the alien civilization or something. Whether they view us as a threat of some kind or just as some either kind of way. It's going to be, the description is going to be dangerously fucking stupid.
Jenny's going to give them the book How to Serve Man.
How to serve, man.
How to cook humans.
Yeah.
With some
Nerdy-
fava beans and Chianti.
Nerdy, Never Again says virus. Antja says some people are amazing, some are absolutely horrible. Nerdy says tasty bags of meat.
See, I knew I wasn't the only one.
Santi?
So we go basically they're monkeys in clothes flying through space in a rock.
Yeah, but to be fair, whoever came to visit us would probably be similar. In that they might not call them monkeys. They might be alligators.
Wow. Yeah, no, I don't want to. I don't want that mental picture.
How
Imagine
different the
if
world.
they're damn cows.
How different the
We'll
world
have
could be
to answer for it.
if it was alligators that learned to make and use tools
Very much
and
so.
and write great literature.
The question is whether or not that would be possible.
I think it'd be better if it was dolphins.
It's unlikely to ever be a sea creature, unfortunately.
Yeah, the problem is, no matter how intelligent a dolphin gets, it's never going to be able to accomplish what humans can do because it doesn't have these.
No.
So
Alas, dear Flipper.
yeah, no
I
matter
knew him
how
well.
intelligent, it could be 10 times more intelligent than us, but it's never going to be able to accomplish what we accomplish because it doesn't have them.
Yeah, it's not about the brain; it's about the thumbs.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, but lemurs have opposable thumbs. Chimps and other monkeys have opposable thumbs. It has to be coupled with at least a nice personality.
We've made artificial limbs for people who are missing limbs. If dolphins had the intelligence, they could make artificial limbs for themselves.
But how are they going to start making the artificial limbs?
They need their hands to make the artificial hands.
They need the hands to make the artificial limbs. So you put in the cart before the horse, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
Well, there's people who
once
can.
it's been done, they could carry on with it.
There's people who can
start it.
type and paint and stuff just using their toes. They could adapt.
Yeah, but they're not going to build a car, are they?
Why they don't need one. They can swim.
Right, Jeff has just super chatted. Welcome to the important questions. Thank you.
So, critically, it's welcome to critical questions, but well done, Dave.
I'm scratching up on my Arabic.
Please feel free to super chat Dave in the most obscure foreign languages you can possibly.
Asshole.
Dave will read all of them out.
Sammy says, I would send them to Mama Atheist. Right now, she'd probably just tell him to fuck off.
Has an alien ever been like told by a woman to suck her dick before?
What kind of alien?
Well, this is what we don't know.
Flat Martian. Flat Mars Society guy.
Yeah, that's possible. I wouldn't, those green scaly ones. I'm just not turned on.
Where are we up to? Ike, the larger our community, the more we cease to behave as individual life forms and become analogous to cells in a microorganism. Do you know what? There's a lot of truth to that. Tiny hands. B says, even if she was feeling good, she might tell him to fuck off. You're not wrong. Paul.
What's that?
Well, how would you describe us?
Yeah, a mixed bag.
A mixed bag.
Yeah.
If you had to...
If I had to.
Oh. I was going to say, if you had to pick a country to send them to, which would you pick?
Sweden.
Sweden.
What, to find out what the
Afghanistan
human race is like?
Afghanistan? Why would you send them? No. As in that you think that what country do you think would greet them best?
Oh, okay.
I don't think Afghanistan would.
I was thinking if you wanted to get rid of them.
Yeah, Sweden. Send them to Sweden.
I would pick Norway.
Norway. Ike says The Hague.
And why is it called The Hague? Why isn't it just called Hague? It's not the New York.
I'm trying to remember. I think that's an English translation. I probably would butcher this, but it's like Den Haag or something, and I'm probably butchering that because I cannot speak a word of Dutch. But
Ike says The Hague would show our best and worst in an honest fashion. Nerdy says the Queen should introduce Earth.
I went I went to The Hague once, and within 10 minutes of arriving there, somehow I'd found a trade union march to join.
You just one randomly going past and you just joined the back.
God damn, yeah.
Can I ask another question on the back of it and I've forgotten it? No, it's gone completely and utterly. We'll have to go to the next question. Right, sorry, I had a follow on, but it's gone completely. Oh yeah, that was what I was going to ask, because it's one of those things that always gets overlooked. Historically, what was the biggest empire ever?
Rome?
No.
Probably the British.
Probably Great Britain, yeah.
Yeah. I find it funny that it never gets talked about. I think it's a historical point of view because it's seen as more recent.
Don't you kind of consider the American imperialism to be basically the same?
Well, that's an interesting question. That certainly there's certainly a good argument to be made.
You can. I mean, it's been said that you could kind of like draw what is an unofficial American empire on a map quite easily.
The point is that the way they've done it is different because they've done it through military bases and not direct
McDonald's.
Control of the land.
Cigarettes, Pepsi, Coke,
McDonald's,
Hollywood.
McDonald's, Hollywood.
To be fair, most of those aren't American. I know it sounds horrible to say now. They're bigger. Their connection to America is gone. Their money's certainly not in America.
What's gone? Show me one that's gone. What you're talking about? What you talking about, Willard?
No. Sammy says Australia may as well be part of America, but it's not. It's part of the. I forgot what it's called. What the hell's our empire called now?
I wish America was part of Australia.
You naive people, you're assuming Australia exists.
I know. Right. Next question, I think.
Okay.
Question 945. What objectively insignificant misdemeanor most annoyed your parents when you committed it as a child?
Oh.
Where to begin?
Would they have to have filed formal charges?
No.
Okay.
What parent would file formal charges for an insignificant misdemeanor?
Oh, it's against your parents.
No,
Oh,
no, your parents had something against you, something you stupid. You know, you did something really small, and they just blew it totally out of proportion.
Oh,
okay.
I thought you meant something that the police brought you home and complained that you committed a crime.
No, the police would never catch me.
See, that's what I thought too.
David
Turns out
Melbourne.
most criminals think that.
David
Man
Melbourne
was
says
probably
peeing in
arguing
public.
with my sister. I was
Arguing with your sister.
for arguing with my sister.
I have a good one for this.
Go on.
I fell down the stairs
Why did you get into trouble for falling down the stairs?
because my mom had been angry with me before, and she thought I was stomping down the stairs, and I wasn't. I fell down the stairs.
Spooky says topping up the sugar bowl with salt. Okay, that's evil.
Yeah.
David
That's
Melbourne.
funny.
It's not funny. Says peeing in public. Never again says, damn it, every time you ask about childhood, I have to say something that explains why I like I am. In my case, it was laughing. That's a terrible crime. Sammy, the word misdemeanor has legal connotations. It does, but it's implied that it's not that. Yeah. Deal with it. Starkey says, I used to wake my mum by lifting up her eyelids and saying, Mummy, are you in there? Oh, that'd be evil. Ilya says, I once drank my grandmother's moonshine. Sammy says, I put a spent sparkler on Mum's new second-hand fake real leather lounge and put a hole in it. Yeah. That's not good.
I'd say probably the first time they caught me smoking.
Ooh. Santi.
In about 4th grade, like you had to turn in your folder at the end of the year, like so they knew you did your homework and you took notes and stuff like that. My folder was a mess, so I paid the girl that sat next to me $10, right, to do it for me. Like let's just copy yours and give me I'll turn that in. She didn't have it ready. She took the money, and then my parents found out, and I got in a lot of trouble.
David Belborn says, okay, my mum would freak out if we were laying on the floor with our feet touching the walls. Fair enough. I'm trying to think if I had my shoes on, I'd have got into trouble for that. Jen?
My brother and I blew up somebody's mailbox once, but it was Halloween.
Well, if it wasn't Halloween.
You can do stuff on Halloween. Come on.
You can do stuff on Halloween. Well, anything you want.
Everything. Yep, everything's legal.
I once treated a car dealership, and I took one of their cars out from out the front. Is that allowed on Halloween?
Yeah. Look, it's no accident that Halloween and fireworks night in the UK are that close together.
The mailbox blew up really, really good too.
Did it?
It was a homemade mailbox, out of wood, and we cooked 3 M80s together, and just kind of twisted the fuses together.
You did give them the option to trick or treat, didn't you?
No, we were
You just
striking out and wanton violence. What happened? We got caught because we lit it. We were running away, and just before it blew up, a cop car pulled around the corner. So
what
damn thing.
How did they react when it exploded?
Well, they had no idea what was being used for the explosion. I think we would have gotten in much more trouble had they known that. We just said, well, it was just a firecracker.
Okay.
Firecrackers do that.
We were pretty young, like 14, 15, something like that. And so they just took us home to mom and dad and these delinquent children. And
I gotta admit, I loved crow bangers when I was a kid. So
we had to pay for the mailbox. I mean, mom and dad paid for the mailbox, but we had to pay them for the mailbox. And God, I was dad's sex slave for like a year. Oh no, never mind. That was
a different story.
Yeah, that was an expensive. That was an expensive fucking Halloween prank.
Still paying for it.
And, I must say, you sound very proud of yourself.
David Melbourne says, you had shoes as a child? Yes, I had shoes as a child. I'm very young. Maybe. B says, my mother was very tolerant of all our craziness. She only got angry after most parents would have tried to kill us. Fair enough. Edward says, messing up with my mum's plants. It was a freaking jungle in my living room. I visited people like that. Very odd.
I can't keep plants alive.
Can you not?
Mm-mm.
There are some plants
My
you
daughter
can't kill.
gave me a bonsai tree for Mother's Day. I tried everything, and that thing was dead in 2 months.
Sammy
You don't
says,
know you're supposed to water them.
Yeah, I tried water. I tried bonsai soil. I tried more sunlight. I tried less sunlight.
You know you're not meant to overwater them. That's how I normally kill things.
I think that's what I did. I think I did overwater it.
Yeah.
It's the same with fish. You overfeed fish, that's how I kill fish.
Oh, I thought
Yeah.
overwatering fish, and I was trying to visualize that.
My friend decided to grow a plant, and his mum accidentally killed it by overwatering it. Of course, what he was growing was fucking weed. His mum didn't realise what it was. It was sprouting. She just thought, oh, it's good. He's taken up an interest. She watered it one day and killed the plant. Fucking great. I was like, basically told him, I think she really, in the long run, she's done you a favour. You'll be going away for some fucking time saying, police catch you with that thing.
David Melbourne tweet. Oh, sorry, 80s heartthrob David Melbourne from Michigan tweeted, "Ooh, a new toy." Tweeted, super chatted. I've lost track. Sammy says,
I like David's other comment more. My parents made a big deal out of each time I lost a finger.
"Where did you lose a finger? Was it the same one each time?" I hadn't got that far in the chat. Sammy said, "I once picked every mandarin on our one tree. Most weren't ready. My dad was furious." Aunt Jer says, "Everything annoyed my dad. He was very uptight. He didn't like us accidentally bumping anything into the walls." That's what my dad was like. My dad was not fun as a kid. Randy Bigfoot says, "My mum hated when I would bring stray humans back to the cave." I imagine so.
I was always bringing baby birds home as a kid. That used to drive me father up the wall.
Yeah.
Best is, if I walked out the front door, there'd be a baby bird sat there, and I always had to bring it home. So yeah,
do something with it, haven't you?
Yeah, you
can't just leave it there.
No, but no, it used to drive my dad insane.
I think. See, if I had a kid, I think the worst offence they could possibly make to me is to invite Jehovah's Witnesses into the house.
That's
is that
fun.
why you're Santi the Sane? Because your dad is Dave the Insane, or whatever his name is.
No. I'm Santi the Sane because of Wanko the Sane.
I feel the only people that need to say that they're sane are people that usually aren't.
Well, that's the whole point.
Or if they have to tell you that they're very stable.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. If they're a genius. If they have the best words. The list could go on for a while. Pete says, "Hey, I'm sane." Never Again says, "What can I say? I didn't start committing actual misdemeanor stuff until I was out of the house." Edard says, "Drawing on the walls. We had wallpaper." Nerdy says, "Exactly. I was a perfect child. It was once I got older that things went down."
Bullshit.
Huge words.
Yeah. B says, "She's very stable. She's very smart. She's got huge words." And Jay says, "My dad has no idea how to interact with children. Needless to say, Mum did 99% of the parenting. If it weren't for Mum, we wouldn't have survived." Do you know what? I think there's an awful lot of mums like that.
Yeah.
Right. Did I miss anyone yet? Jeff!
No, I think I said, when I was caught smoking, I think when I was about 11 years old, and you know how you try to make it out like no, I was just around someone who was smoking, but they could tell.
They can tell.
This is the thing, isn't it? You realise when you get older or whatever that they probably were busted doing the same shit themselves, and,
Right. Next question then.
What about you, Dave?
What about me? I was a good child.
Dave, come on.
I can't remember anything insignificant.
Everything you did was pretty significant.
No, the problem is I could only remember the significant things.
Dave, answer the question, or the next super chat's going to be in Klingon.
Does Google do Klingon?
You'd be surprised what Google can do.
I like I said, I don't know. I mean, when I got caught by my sister with my girlfriend, I got into trouble for that. But most of that was, well, you see, the thing is, I was viciously bollocked for it until my sister left the house and my mother said, "Don't get caught again."
I thought you. It would have been worse if you were caught with your sister and your girlfriend.
No. Well, yes, it would have been worse. It would also never have happened. My sister is horrible.
I think you would have got more of a bollocking, though.
I think my mother would have sat there silently. Just, I'm trying to think of anything minor, and most. I didn't get caught. Is the thing. My parents were relatively disconnected because my dad was a workaholic, and my mother let me get away with anything. So I basically went out in the morning and did whatever I was getting up to. I got up to it and came home, and she never really knew. I mean, the problem was if I got into anything serious, we were well known enough in the town, it would get back to her. I'd get home and she'd have had a phone call.
The beauty smoke now.
Yeah. Right, next question.
Next question.
I meant to say, moving on.
Moving on.
Question 946. Have you ever boinked in a moving vehicle?
No.
That's
not in a
easy.
moving vehicle.
No.
Jeff?
Yeah.
No.
Jenny?
Yes.
Who was driving?
That's none of your business.
Was it a car?
No. It was a 1962 GMC pickup.
Oh, damn it. I thought my answer to this question was no. And that's because all I would thought about was a car. And I have to answer yes. Santi!
Yes, bus, no further details.
Jeff? What are you saying?
No, I haven't. So, no, I'm not in the car. Definitely not on a motorcycle. Not on a boat, and I've not been initiated into the Mile High Club either.
Oh, boats! I didn't even
Not
think
in a
of boats.
plane, not on a train, not in a boat, not in a car, not in the rain. You let me be.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
Boats.
The ferry, yeah. So I'll have to say yes, I have.
I was convinced my answer to this question was no.
I was thinking of a car or something like that. So no, yeah, a boat, a ferry. Yeah.
I had the opportunity, but I didn't find the Isle of Wight ferry very romantic.
It's a delightful cruise.
It's not.
Aunt Jer says nope. Ike says, does oral count? Yeah, go on, we'll take oral. Sammy says fellatio only. Never again says yes. Then says, is that asked Ike whether or not that's what Clinton asked. Chuck Dave says Dave gets all the roadhead. Ilya says not bunked, but other things. Go on.
I did not have sex with that woman.
Harmonica Man says, I'm a blues musician. What the hell do you think? Of course I did. Randy
I
Bigfoot.
know I should have given up the guitar when I was young.
Randy Bigfoot says, "What's a boink? And does an abandoned minecart count? If the minecart is moving, yes." Starkey Talk says, "Yes, on a jet ski on a lake." Interesting.
That's impressive.
I was thinking that.
That's
But I can see how
impressive.
you would, depending on the jet ski, I could see how it would work.
That
Nerdy
doesn't
says-
require the jet ski to be moving.
It does.
It did say
It does.
moving vehicles.
Moving vehicle is the point.
Well, does up and down count?
No.
Maybe an elevator.
Yes, that too.
I'd say up and
Oh
down.
God, I'm a slut.
I'm going to include an elevator for another question.
I would say up and down would count if it wasn't for on the water, because then it could easily just be blamed on the tide or the waves.
Or the push.
No, it's just got to be moving under its own power. Well, I'd accept a bike if you could manage that. What are we up to? Oh, crap. Nerdy says, "No, never done anything in a car." Nerdy, that wasn't the question. That's the mistake we made. Willie says, "Yes, on the ferry to France." Robin's just arrived.
Uh-oh.
Robin, what in the world did I just tune into? How long have you been here?
That's why Dad has to pick up the bagels, Robin, because I'm
We're
here.
on a date. We're on a date. Smutty questions here.
Hi, Robin.
I think Robin's too young to be in the chat.
So, Granny, your answer?
No, I haven't. And if I had, I certainly wouldn't say it with Robin in the chat.
Ike says, "Disney
For
Splash
anyone who
Mountain."
doesn't
Anyone?
know, Robin is my child.
Granny,
Yeah,
have any of your kids ever
space
walked in on you and your husband?
Yes, my middle daughter did.
Oof.
Sammy says, "On a bus, I was the bus driver." Oh, that was fan fiction. Okay, forget that. Right,
Super
Dave.
chat, Dave.
Science Talk TV, Chris says, "I think I bunked myself in a traffic jam once." That doesn't count.
And why is that?
Maybe that was the cause of the traffic jam.
Oh, you think he did it into a traffic jam? It's caused the traffic jam. Robin just wants to know who needed to get the bagels.
Either you or Dad. Dad said he would do it.
And Monica Man says, "Does a circus elephant also count?" A circus elephant would only count if you were in a cart behind it. The question is not about animals; it's about vehicles. A clown car would count. You can have an orgy in one of them. Never Again says, "I think Robin is a tad smart, too intelligent to be in this chat." Starkey says, "Ooh, I was once driving home from Vegas and booked myself all the way along." Interesting. I'm sure you were a wonderful driver. That explains why you enjoyed your road trip so much. Right. I think we have led that one as much as we can. We keep finding new vehicles.
Moving on.
Yeah. All right. Question 947. A long one, so concentrate. If you could use Jurassic Park technology to bring back one extinct creature, which extinct creature would you resurrect? And would you be worried about the resurrected animal running amok and killing people, as always seems to happen when people attempt this?
Not if I brought back a trilobite, no.
I would probably bring back is it the Tasmanian tiger that only went extinct about 100 years ago?
The thylacine.
Yeah, I'd bring that back.
I'd go for the passenger pigeon.
Why?
Yes, I would actually. Yeah, passenger pigeon as well. I totally agree. Apparently,
They tasty.
taste nice. That's why they went extinct.
They actually think that they could, but they don't think it would necessarily survive because of its breeding habits and how it would survive, or how they were a pack animal, which sounds weird for a bird, but they were very dependent on each other, and they don't think that they could breed enough of them to have a sustainable group.
Right.
They,
start out with.
I think if the pigeons come back, they'd probably take over. I think they'd launch a coup.
Oh, that's terrible.
Very good.
On that note, I'm going to be back in 2 minutes. Okay.
Starkey says woolly mammoths or dodos. Spooky says dodo. Ike says pick up a linchpin organism for the local food web we've destroyed and make an ecosystem robust again. Spooky says haggis. I mean, we haven't seen a wild haggis in years. Sammy says prehistoric wombat. Say again?
But they have domesticated haggis, don't they?
No. Pretty much all of them now, they're artificial.
Oh, really? Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
I didn't realize.
No. Starkey says, I only want the dodo bird if they are as hilarious as an Ice Age. They're not. Nerdy says a Tyrannosaurus Rex the size of a mouse. Yeah, it would be whatever size it was. You don't get to mess with it. Granny.
I'd be tempted to bring back a megalodon. I'd really like to see a megalodon. But yeah, you do have to worry about that running amok and killing everyone.
We could cordon off DC?
There we go.
Chris, Science.tv says Neanderthals. That would be fun. Shaq, I do like the idea of Neanderthals.
Ah, that was going to be my answer.
Was it? The Santi's having Neanderthals.
Yeah.
Nerdy says...
do we bring the whole species back or just like one of them?
Well, one at a time.
One at a time. Okay, cool. Yeah, the Neanderthals. You can't just shoot them.
Nerdy says, I have Jurassic Park technology. I can modify genes at will. I wouldn't go that far. The Starkey says they can have DC, and I'm close enough to go see it. Paul.
Yeah, I said the Tasmanian
You answered.
tiger.
You did. You had a good answer as well. Antjer says, I thought haggis was food stuffed inside a sheep's stomach and boiled. That's the story they put out. They catch them.
Yeah, it's a fake. It's a little tiny furry creature that lives in the Highlands of Scotland.
See, I always thought it was just kind of like a very undisciplined sausage.
Sammy says, this might be a silly question, but isn't a megalodon a shark? Kind of.
Yes.
Yeah, we can dig out DC, make a nice big watery area.
How big of a storm would it take to pick up a megalodon and toss it onto a beach or into the middle of a city to eat people?
A normal hurricane would do it.
We'll just build it a tank in DC and we'll create it in the tank.
I'm sure we can make the White House airtight. Watertight, sorry. I'm betting it's already airtight. Where are we? We're done. Yeah, DC is a swamp, it'll survive. Alright, next question. Question 948. To what extent would you consider religion mind control?
100%.
Yeah, 100%.
Interesting.
And now I'll walk away for 2 minutes.
As everyone goes away. Santi?
I wouldn't say mind control. Like, it's more like brainwashing, which is different. Because like you can break your programming. Like mind control is kind of like like a puppet. But brainwashing is like it's more brainwashing to me. Like no mind, like I wouldn't consider mind control.
I agree with
Interesting.
Santi.
Interesting. See, Starkey says all of it. Never Again says 100%. Nerdy says what extents are available. Ike says it depends on what methods are employed. Sammy says to every and all extent, there is no part of it that is not mind control.
I guess there's like mind supervision, like the whole like you can't look out like another man's wife and all that stuff, like that like dot police stuff, right? But they can't really control that.
Yeah, but they do control that. They teach you. No. See, where the mind control comes in on that is they teach you that you should feel bad about that, and that sits in there, especially if you come through the Catholic type upbringing. That guilt is virtually impossible to overcome. Even though you can know something is fine, you know it was something that was put there by your religion, you still cannot get over that response. And I can't think of anything more mind control than that. You are doing it to yourself because they have taught you to do that.
I mean, technically speaking, they do class brainwashing as mind control. It's a form of mind control. So, I don't know. I mean, I don't know where I fall on this question, in all honesty.
I completely see Dave's point and like how Jeff put it. Like it's like it's mind control through brainwashing. Like I was thinking mind control like Dr. Xavier. Like,
yeah.
There you go. Sammy says, absolutely, Dave. Took me over 20 years after leaving my religion to break the guilt. What the hell have I missed in the chat? Spooky says to Ike, no, just a bunch of differently coloured sized balls, but I know what you mean. It does look like that. What is that in response to?
I don't know, but I want to know now.
No, I
know! And is it your bouncing balls, Dave? I don't know.
I don't know. Laurie Vallow proves it to me. She may be an extreme case, but she's nuts. Have to think she was okay before she went full-on religious zombie nutter. Aunt Jer says, all of it. My super religious Trumpy brother had the audacity to accuse me of being brainwashed by Seattle when I came out to them.
I'm wondering how you get brainwashed by Seattle.
Well, according to you, by looking at the Seattle Seahawks uniforms.
Good point.
Sorry, you kind of walked into that one. Right?
Shiny, shiny, shiny.
Oh, they're talking about Spooky's avatar. So, like Chris says, have you guys ever had theists on? Yes, we have had theists on. I'd like more theists on. It'd be more fun. No, anyone that asks me tends to get to come on. So if they want to come on, come on. Ike says integration, indoctrination is real, right or left wing. Yes, but I would say that indoctrination is not necessarily harmful unless you are taught you can't question it. Ilya says all religion has a form of mind control. Completely agree. The problem is, okay. No, I'm not going to go into it.
No, go for it. I want to hear it.
No, it'll annoy people. The problem is, it's one of those things, right? We argue against indoctrination. Right? And the problem is, indoctrination is a good thing. It's what you are indoctrinating is the problem.
I don't think so. I wasn't indoctrinated into anything. And
You were indoctrinated into lots of things.
Yeah,
but most of them are useful. Most of them are normal and useful, and you later on, you learned there was a meaning behind them. But you weren't taught that meaning, you were indoctrinated. You were told that this is the way it was because it was. Indoctrination is a useful tool because you don't need to necessarily know how things work to use them.
Okay. Like education?
Yes! To some degree. Right? Now, there is a line as to where indoctrination is and is not, as to whether or not it's just education and just indoctrination. But the point is that it really only becomes harmful when you are taught to not question it. If you're indoctrinated into something, that's fine. If you're taught you can question it.
Indoctrination is just a tool.
Yes.
It can work a couple of ways with that, though, Dave. I mean, obviously you go through, basic sort of education where you're, generally taught a lot of facts or whatever. And sometimes you can break yourself into that and then maybe end up going down a whole nother rabbit hole of indoctrinate. Because how many times do you hear like conspiracy theorists or whatever?
Very much so. That's the reason.
Or whatever. So
okay.
You're indoctrinated by what they taught you, kind of thing.
Right. This is the thing I got into a row with. Yeah. Right. I got into a row with someone the other day that was a white supremacist. All right. Keep the races separate. Right.
Lovely people. Yeah.
Right, and the point being is the argument is that there was. I said right within the conversation. I should say there is propaganda on both sides, both from the white supremacist side in terms of keeping the races separate and all this shit, absolute bullshit, right, and from the perspective of the multicultural side. Okay, and my argument is the multicultural propaganda in a lot of respects is worse because it doesn't need it, and having the propaganda there is one of those things that the white supremacists use to push people. You can show that that's false or it's not necessarily true, and it makes you question. Right? And I think the same thing happens with lots of conspiracies, where you've got something that's kind of glossed over or it's odd. But I think you're right. I think the conspiracy happens a lot if you don't teach people how to. You need to teach people that it's not real. If you're teaching them that, I can't talk, I can't think. Right, yeah, you got to teach people. I think you got to teach kids specifically, but adults as well, that if you are teaching them something that they need to know, but you're not teaching them the reason, you need to teach them that there is a reason that they can discover themselves and how to discover it. And I don't think that would overcomplicate it too much. I could be wrong. Right. I've got to go way back now. Ilya says, all religion is a form of mind control. Did that already. Nerdy says, is going to school a form of mind control? Yes, unfortunately. But we don't have a better way of educating right now, and even when we do, I think it's going to be still controlled by someone, which is what brought up by Sammy, who gets to decide what should be indoctrinated, though. Never Again says, most education is indoctrination. The question is whether you may question it.
Well, society decides what's going to be indoctrinated.
Yes, but that's the problem. It's like at the moment they are literally saying that anything that does not agree with the conservative view in America that's being taught in school is indoctrination to left-wing philosophies.
Mm-hmm.
So you have science that is being taught, and they are saying that is basically left-wing propaganda.
But again, they're using the word indoctrination as a weapon, not a tool.
Yes.
Indoctrination is a tool. You can use a hammer to pound a nail.
Yeah, but the point is they're not indoctrinating them. The point is they're not indoctrinating them at all at this point.
Well, exactly. That's true.
They're
using the word indoctrination
to instill fear
as a weapon.
There you go. Never again. We're saying the same thing. Pinky swear, Dave. Antjer says on Twitter, Chris Shelton has a post about how the university system is indoctrinating people with left-wing ideals. Oh, do you know what? I'm coming out with the things before I read them here. Ike says the social contract is just distributed indoctrination. Buki says Dave is usually wrong when he uses his stern voice. Nerdy told me. And Sammy says, I suppose the indoctrination is consensus. I think what you teach tends to be.
He's trying to indoctrinate us, is what he's doing.
He's trying. The Rage says, religious indoctrination is different than most. Being indoctrinated into the existence of gravity is harmless, for instance. Even a mild indoctrination with religion can turn harmful later in life. I agree. I let my daughter get away. I let the school get away with teaching too much low-level stuff about the religion, even though it wasn't hard on it. And later on in her life, when she gets stressed, she falls back on it. And it's stuff I thought was harmless at the time. Never Again says, you need to teach people critical thinking. Totally agree. 100%.
That's why we do critical questions.
You think this teaches critical thinking? I'm not convinced.
I think it's going to that whole thing of teaching people how to think rather than what to think is probably the way forward.
Yeah, but you've got to teach people what to think first.
That's
the problem. You have to have a base level. You cannot teach a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old how to think.
No.
Right? You've got to teach them things first. You've got to teach them facts that they can deal with at that point in their life.
Yeah.
Right, but you're right. You have to go through that, and that's the point. Right. Everyone's saying, what does Paul think?
I said at the beginning, yes, I do think it's indoctrination, religion.
Yeah.
That was the question, wasn't it?
It was. Everyone thinks. Everyone agrees. Right, we should move on. If I could talk for ages on this.
Moving on.
Moving on.
I've just got my granddaughter just walked in on me.
That's okay.
My granddaughter just walked in on me.
Hi, Granddad.
Hello.
No, she's run off now.
Oh, okay. Goodbye, Granddad.
Never Again says, and it took a world lockdown to convince Dave to do critical questions too. Oh, I have to get back to the question. Chris says, indoctrination, teach a person group to accept a set of beliefs uncritically. There is so much to learn in the world, you can't do your own research on everything. Again, this is one of those things I get into arguments with atheists and skeptics about too often, where they expect you to go and fact check things. You can't. There has to be a level of trust. You have to trust someone because you cannot do every level of research. Oh, I hate you. Every level of research. You think you're funny, don't you?
No, I'm trying. I'm trying to subtly get the message out about what you're doing. Is what I'm doing here.
Dave is investigating you. I think. I'm assuming that was meant to say indoctrinating.
That is what it says. Yes.
Super chat from Jeff. Thank you. The Rage. Yeah, I tell fuckers to go spend the time like I did and researching themselves. No, there's not. It's not that you can't research anything, and I think if you are questioned on something, you should go and research it. But you live a life. You have to live a life. You have a limited time. You cannot know everything. You have to accept some pieces of information on trust. What you need to be taught is not only how to research yourself if you need to, also who you should fucking trust. How you can tell whether or not someone is of a reasonable caliber to be providing you. And it's not even then that you can trust someone about certain topics. That you can trust a qualified physicist about physics. But their biology, their chemistry, their ability to comment on politics, that's all up in doubt.
That's why I get upset with everyone, listening to what celebrities say about politics. Because I think, who cares what Oprah thinks about politics?
I think it's worse than that. See, I think it's worse than that.
Opinion any less valid than say,
No.
who was an
No.
entertainer?
Her opinion is worse. Shut up. No, I'm talking. Right. Her opinion is less valid. She is disconnected from the majority of the way people live their lives. Celebrities' opinion on politics is worth less than a random person on the street.
Then why does the right wing keep putting them in office?
Because they're popular. Because people have associated that they like them in this way, then therefore must be good. The Rage says...
I think
Go
it's
on.
a sad thing. We're going to see more. I always feel that we're going to see more and more of these celebrity types in politics. It's
Yes.
actually.
And oddly enough, I think we have a
oddly
better
enough, we-
system to stop it.
Really?
Unfortunately. Yes.
Really?
I think we have a better
Okay.
system. I don't think we have a perfect system.
Why did
Yes,
our
Boris is a
Prime Minister
politician.
become? Yeah,
Yes.
why did he become well known?
Because he got popular. Yes, because of TV.
Because
I
because
agree.
He appeared on bloody things like Have I
No,
Got
I
News for
completely
You?
agree.
Yeah.
Right, but I think that the fact that you have to go through the party vetting process in a way that you don't have to in the States means that they tend to stick with people in the party that the party likes. I say it's better. I don't say it's perfect. Chris says, simmer down, Dave, you're bouncing off the screen. Rage says, for instance, tonight I will be talking about things that are common knowledge about candy zones. You have to look for it. I will provide the info. Don't believe me. Go and do the damn work. But most people don't care. That's the problem.
Nice one, Jenny.
Well, then what did I miss then? I was looking at the thing. The Rage says, CC makes me want a bouncy ball every time I catch the show. What?
Super chat, Dave.
Oh. Oh!
You must read it, sir.
Ty. There is
In
a
the original
reason
language.
that in the original language. There is a reason why he called Scummer. Scummer!
Yeah, you have to break it up because the, morality of the shit things. Never mind.
From Jenny, thank you. Andrea says, recently had a conversation with my brother that leads me to believe he gets his information about race from candy zones. The problem is everyone is allowed to be lazy about certain things. It's having these strong opinions when you don't know. I mean, again, I got into another argument on Twitter. Me, never get into arguments on Twitter. About the fact that people don't fact check before they retweet. And the problem is I don't fact check. I cannot fact check everything I retweet. Okay, now here's the problem. I will not retweet something that I think is not right. The problem is that not every news story is accurate to the point of for example, when you have a story that says a police officer did this, and I know of plenty of stories where police officers have done this. So I might retweet this other story that says a police officer has done the same thing. Now, I haven't gone and fact-checked that other story. Right? And this is massive confirmation bias on my part. And it's terrible. But the point is, if I didn't, I'd never retweet anything. And the problem is, that would mean the only people that were retweeting were the people that were retweeting nothing that they fact-check. At all. And it's just one-sided then. And this is the problem. We are losing the information war because they are putting out so much absolute shit.
Yeah, we're absolutely bombarded with it. I don't do a lot on Twitter, but on Facebook, it absolutely drives me mad. You'll see something that somebody's posted, or some sort of meme on Facebook that they've posted, accusing somebody of something or whatever, and it literally takes 3 minutes to Google it, research it, and find out whether it's true. And I absolutely drive people mad, my friends on Facebook, with it, because they'll post something on Facebook. I will look at it and think, no, that doesn't seem right. I'll spend 3 minutes fact checking it, get the evidence to say that it's not true, and then I'll post that under their post to say, look, it takes 3 minutes to check it out. But I think what it is, if somebody sees a story that they find interesting, and it fits with their narrative, they are interested whether it's true or not. They just want to retweet it out and get more information out there. It drives me insane.
My sister,
I agree with that entirely.
My sister deletes my fact checks. I fact check the things she posts. I put the comment underneath saying whether it's true and a link to where it is, and she deletes them. She leaves her post up and deletes my comments.
Yeah.
Right, let me read the comments, then we need to move on. I'm getting into trouble. Okay, they're now talking about candy zones.
We don't disrespect you anymore.
Why not? Tweet never had the desire. Never again. Twitter can be fun, but you've got to be able to disconnect from it. Otherwise, you'll blow your brains out. Never again says, Dave, maybe you should block your sister. Oh, I'm so tempted. Right, next question.
It is allowed, you know.
I'd get shot. Right.
But yeah, it's everyone's sort of right on that though. But.
Yeah. Right. The problem is most people aren't honest about it, and I think the people within our community tend to be.
I've called out a lot. I mean, obviously, I see it tons of times from like right wingers on Facebook, but I've had to call people out on my own side for this shit a number of times on the left as well.
Yeah.
Especially,
right, next question.
especially when it's like, but I just say, especially when it's like memes and shit like that that are not true. When you don't need to make shit up to make some of these people look fucking stupid. That's what really annoys me.
Yeah, I somewhat disagree. I think the problem you've got is something punchy can sometimes be better, even if it's not quite true.
Yeah, there's not quite true, and then there's out and out false.
Oh, fair enough.
I mean, the famous one that went round a few years ago was the one about Trump, wasn't it? Saying that if I was ever going to run for office, I'd do it as a Republican because because their voters are so bloody stupid, and that went viral. He never said that.
No.
Yeah, but it's a good one. It's a good meme.
It's a good one. Yeah, but it's a good one. But it backfired because it was a blatant fucking lie that caught on. You know, that did not have a good effect at all.
Fair enough. Right, next question before I get stuck back down here. I've already spent too long on this question. Right, question. Oh no. Oh crap. People are asking more questions. Right, question 949. How long do you think you've got?
Oh, 20 minutes.
Jeff.
What? Relating to what? To spend on this question?
You can interpret the question how you choose.
I think it means to live.
I'm on borrowed fucking time already.
You got at least 20 minutes, haven't you? How long have we got left on the show? Oh, more than that. I mean, if you want to die on the show, I think it'd help. I think it would help ratings.
No, I'm gonna beat Amanda's airtime, but then I'm gonna drop dead.
Fair enough.
And then she'll feel so guilty that she should never come on again. So who the fuck am I kidding? Of course she won't.
Sammy says, we'll all laugh if Paul keels over in 20 minutes. We will not. We will be deeply concerned. I've seen what happens when an accident happens on this panel. The panelists are all deeply concerned.
Like when your ball breaks?
Yeah.
No, come on. No. To be fair, I was concerned.
Yes.
I only really laughed was when he held the thing up and said, it popped. That was the breaking point.
Never again says, shit, I'm surprised I've had as much long as I've had. Any bit will be nice. Ilya Moon says, I have overstayed my welcome. I think now I am a cruel punishment for you all. Oh, that's so not true.
No.
Santi!
If I can stay away from getting killed by something, like most of the men in my family lived to like 60 or 70, like around there. So I got like another 30 years if I can stay away from, like killing stuff.
Problem tenants.
Oh yeah.
Granny.
I'd say probably about 15 years.
No.
I have a very strange family when it comes to longevity. There are no widows in my family, only widowers.
Interesting.
Yeah. I have an aunt that died at 61, another that died at 61. My mother lived to 76, and she lived the longest. The women do not have longevity in my family.
And did they die of natural causes?
Yes. Blood diseases.
Very interesting. Nerdy says 5 to 10 years if I'm lucky. Oh, I like Nerdy. Jenny?
5 years ago, the doctor said that I have about 5 to 10 years to live.
So you've got at least another 5.
Yeah, I suppose. We'll see.
I was going to say, I know lots of people outlived, but it's survivor bias. I think you've got at least another 5 years. I have to annoy you for that much longer.
See, I mean, it's just looking a bit down because a lot of us know probably at least halfway on, if not more than halfway or whatever. But I tried to look on the positives that I think I've survived at least 30 to 35 raptures so far. So, wow, I mean, I've survived a lot of about 30 to 35 raptures. Nostradamus apocalypse, Mayan apocalypse. I've not done too bad.
Oh, apparently I misread Sammy's. We all laugh, but if Paul keels over in 20 minutes. Oh, but if Paul feels... Okay, sorry. We won't laugh if he keels over. My apologies. Ilya says, Jenni Morgan is amazing and I love her. It better be more than 5 years. Edward says, about 7 inches. Is that too late? Oh shit, I never thought that the way that question is phrased is... Yeah, fair enough. I'll go with that.
How long do you have to...
I know, I just look at the phrasing of the question, it works.
Yep.
The Rage says, for me, I have no idea. I know that I am mortal now for real. Joe says, I always wanted to die at 60. Not sure I want to stay longer, but I agree with Scummer on the raptures. I should have gone in 1988. Ant Jer says, this question makes me uncomfortable because of reasons. That's good. We shall move on very quickly. Sammy says, yes.
The good news is we're all going to survive another one because Pat Robertson's made another fucking prediction. So
when's his for?
Oh, Amanda's just come in.
It's not long, but it's.
What a question for Amanda to come in on. Amanda says, judging by the last few days, hours probably. That's long enough to get to the UK and beat up Jeff.
Not if I keel over once I break her record.
I'm 42. I didn't realise Knocker was 42. I'm 42. Who looks healthier? Him. That's terrible. Right.
You're only a couple of years. Oh, you're only a couple of years older than me, then, Dave.
Yeah. Right. Next question.
Wait, did Dave answer?
Who are you? The question, please.
Yeah, Manda's here in the chat now. We've definitely got to account.
If no, we had to answer to Mama Atheist later. No. She's a less fairy than you said.
It's if we hold you to account, it might extend our answer on this current question of how long have we got.
The way the world is currently going at the moment, 6 months.
The way where the world's currently going, I don't know if I want it to be any more than 6 months.
You've seen Ilya?
I actually I don't think I have.
Jenny?
Yes.
And I don't know. I don't think I have.
Does she look identical to her avatar?
I couldn't tell you because I've not seen her.
I'm asking Jenny now.
Well, I don't know if she's changed her hair color lately, but Ilya's pretty hot. She does it for me.
I think I know what her real first name is, but I'm not going to say it on stream.
Her real first name is Ilya.
Yeah, well, I'm not saying anymore.
Just
It's the
She
last
is
name
Ilya.
she messes with.
And I may be wrong. So I may be wrong.
It's the last name that she messes with, and her real last name is Kiriakin.
what?
I get
All
that.
right. I don't get that, but Caroline's over the other side of the room going.
Yeah. Come on. Hey, Ilya Kiriakin. Do you not know that one?
No, not at all.
If I said Napoleon Solo, does that mean anything to you?
No.
Oh dear.
Well, look him up.
I like that one.
Right, next question. Question 950. Would you rather never be able to feel any emotion or never be able to show any emotion?
They're a pair. You can't separate those.
Of course you can.
Yes, you can.
Have you never watched... Oh, I've forgotten his name. There's a Christian apologist that calls himself... Oh, no, it's gone. It just shows no emotion. He just talks with a very monotone voice. Nothing at all. You would not... And I've completely forgotten his name. It's completely gone out of my head.
If you play Dragon Age Inquisition, like, or any of the ones before it, there is this thing that they do to like rogue mages, where they take away their emotions because that's what they do magic. They call them the tranquil, right? So, they're like monotone because like they don't have their emotions, and even though you can show emotions, they don't find like any reason to show you emotions. So I will take emotions without being able to show.
Yeah. Nerdy says, I would much rather never show any emotion. Ant Jer says, show. The Rage says, show definitely. My face gives everything I am feeling away. Nerdy says, poker champion. David Melbourne says, never show emotion. It would help with my poker game. Phil. Paul.
Yeah, I'd go for sure. Because if you could never feel emotion, it's going to change the person you are completely, isn't it?
Yes.
If you
Yes,
see
it
tomorrow,
does.
you can't feel any. You don't feel any emotion whatsoever. That's fundamentally changed you completely. Whereas if you just can't show emotion, you as yourself has still remained the same. It's the perception that other people have got of you that's changed. So I would say lose the ability to show emotion rather than feel it.
Granny?
I completely agree with Paul. You know, not being... I went through a long period of time not being able to feel anything after my first child died. And no, I don't want to go back there.
Everyone. I'm not surprised. Science Talk says, showing no emotion has some benefits. To feel nothing, I think, is no good. What would you look forward to? What do animals look forward to?
I mean, animals have feelings.
Yeah, animals.
No, not all of them. I mean, I appreciate the ones that we tend to interact with on a daily basis do.
Yeah, but still, like, even like ants have like hunger, like, and they have like a driving force that makes them feel something, right?
Would you say hunger is an emotion rather than a sense? I mean, you're right. You are definitely gonna get into some sticky definition right in the middle somewhere.
Yeah, like I mean, like they have a drive other than just it could be like you could call it instinct. Like I need to eat before I starve. Right.
Hunger is not an emotion. It's a demand. Wanting to have something to eat is an emotion.
Then wouldn't be horny an emotion? Like horny and hungry. I like horny is an emotion, yet it's a part of a function. Like that's what I'm seeing like as an emotion. Right. Like I don't know if it's a second level.
Maybe. Sammy says, show. I know people who can't feel emotions, and from my perspective, their life is horrible. They couldn't give a stuff. Never Again says, I'd get into less trouble if I didn't show my emotions. But to never show them, no. I skip question 950.
So Can I just answer because I'm going to need to move for a couple of minutes. I'll just answer quickly. Soon not feel them, to be honest. At times, be a lot less fucking aggro.
That's like that. Oh, now Godless Scummer has seen me. And he goes.
I am not going to tell anyone what she looks like.
Spooky says, I am a rock, I'm an island, and a rock feels no pain, and an island never cries.
Aww.
Chris says, you don't think insects feel some good feeling when they have sex? Maybe? Maybe not. I don't know.
That's Brainbug. Is Brainbug here?
No, he's not. He's working. He's normally here. He's normally about. It's a Saturday. But he's normally popped up by now. I know... No, I'm stretching my memory, so I won't go there. No, we should move on to the next question. Oh, Jeff is going to miss it.
Yeah, let's move on. You didn't ask me, so I don't have to answer.
Oh, go on then.
No,
Jenny, I thought I had asked you. My apologies.
Okay. In all seriousness, as someone who's lived on both sides of that equation, prior to transition, as my example, I would never, ever, ever go back to not being able to express my emotions, because when I felt them and didn't express them, they damn nearly killed me. And
so
now
you would
that
want...
I can express them, I'm a significantly healthier person, both physically and emotionally.
So you would want to not be able to feel them then, but be able to show them? That sounds weird.
I will.
If you choose the first one.
I wasn't realizing that the question.
I was just thinking that. I hadn't given that any thought.
Yeah, if you choose the first one, not to feel emotion, but to be able to show it, you're not going to show it because you can't feel it.
Right.
So the best of the two is got to be to not be able to show it, but be able to feel it. Because if you can't feel it,
but Jenny's saying is saying exactly that's a bad thing.
Emotion, if you can't feel it. Yeah, but there's no point in having the ability to show an emotion if you don't have the ability to feel the emotion. You've lost both, haven't you?
Never again, says Jen. Just say fuck it and laugh, please. Jones.
Let's move on.
Jones says express emotions. I now I have to go with that, with not being able to show it, because it's the only real option there. I hadn't. Express emotions is not the same as just show them. Expressing can be done in multiple ways. Ilya says this is a non sequitur. Right, next question. Question 951. I hope Jeff is listening. What is your favourite flat thing?
I'll be right back.
The iPhone.
Interesting. Spooky says the Earth. Jeff says the Earth.
For me, it's go ahead.
Go on. Go on.
Go ahead. Okay. For me, it's no, you go.
No, you're gonna go now. Go.
Okay. For me, it's this thing called tortilla parrillera, right? Which is like this dough. It's like pizza dough, right? But like it's just flour, a little grease, and salt, and you cook it in the same grill that you do the barbecue meat, right? And so it kind of like absorbs like the flavor of the meat, and it's like flat. So it's just delicious. It's like a big piece of like grill dough.
Very nice.
Now I want one.
Now you want one. Adjer says pancakes. Edward says my bed. Science Talk TV says my girlfriend. Harmonica Man says my ex-girlfriend. Then I changed my mind to pancakes. Nerdy says my keyboard. You don't have a flat keyboard, do you? You're going to have to send me a photo of your keyboard. Jeff says, does level count as flat? Yes. Paul.
I said my iPhone.
Oh, your iPhone. Oh, damn it. Yes.
Level is not flat.
The point is, it's still in the context we are talking about. Yes, it is.
No, it's not. It never is. I can put a shelf on the wall and mount it so that it's level, but it could be a curved shelf.
Fine. I depending on the answer, I will accept it or not.
And about the level, you need 2 points, right?
Yeah.
Like in a straight line.
David Melbourne
That's
says,
flat.
my cardboard cutout Darth Vader. Never Again says paper. The Rage says the Earth. Oops, I gave it away. Science Talk TV says, what does flat even mean? I'm leaving that ambiguous for this question. Joan says, my flat. Mama Atheist says, not cool. Sammy says, my rechargeable vibrator. Why have you got a flat vibrator? Oh. Sorry. I just got that. Granny.
Pizza.
Pizza. Santi says, I'm flat. Spooky says, Dave's enormous forehead. My forehead's definitely not flat. There's a distinct curve to it.
Well, isn't that an apartment for you guys?
Yes.
Like flatmate and stuff?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
What do you call them?
Apartment.
Yeah, what do you call it? What do you call a flatmate?
Roommate.
We don't share a room.
No, like you share. Well, no, but like they take a room in the house, so they're a roommate.
Yeah, but they're not a flatmate, are they? They'd be an apartment mate.
Yes. What's flat about the apartment?
I can't believe you weren't first with Earth. Yeah.
Me?
My favorite,
Yeah.
my favorite
actually,
flats would be
read the
my
chat, I
ballerina
was.
slippers.
Sorry again. Say again, Jenny.
My favorite flats would be my ballerina slippers.
Fair enough.
Oh no, actually no. Spooky got there a second or two before me. Actually, didn't
Yes, I said.
he? Yeah.
Unfortunately, the way YouTube works is it shows your message from you straight away, rather than when it's received by the server.
Yeah.
David
So,
Melbourne, this housemate. Do you have a real answer?
I don't know. I think I'm gonna go in here and do some quote unquote flat smacking now. You know.
Go on then.
You know. The Earth is not round. Large bodies of water do not curve.
Well, they do.
Earth.
Right there. Okay, I have a question about this that really pisses me off. Okay. Have these people never seen waves?
Well, sure.
Oh God! Of course they have.
Then how can they say it doesn't curve?
Well, they've
'Cause
also
they're
seen
fucking
the sunrise.
stupid.
They've also seen the sunrise and deny that it does that too. So
I always get confused as to how they could think the Earth is flat and ask, is it actually a cube? Does it have any depth, or is it two-dimensional? And if they say it's got depth, well, then how come we haven't ever dug through it if it's only a few inches deep?
Because there's a government conspiracy to stop us if we start digging. They use the NASA teleporters that I witnessed this morning to transport them. Go on.
at the Antarctic ice wall, they use armed penguins to defend it and keep us out. And in the underground areas, they have armed wombats.
Okay. I like wombats.
Well, they're just big enough and furry enough that they can like hide the weaponry in their skin folds and stuff like that, and you don't know their arms, so they can follow you and take care of you when necessary.
Fair enough. Right. So Chris says flat blow up doll. Ilya says I like hills and curves. I like debunk flat earthers, and I'm pending a debate with FEAJ. Go on,
That's
Jeff.
That's Flat Earth Aussie Jesus. In case anyone doesn't know, he's a fucking arsehole.
Oh, I see. Fuck that guy from Jeff.
Yeah,
And
he's a
Jer says
racist.
rates.
He is an absolute fucking asshole. That guy.
Here you go. Cats debunk flat Earth theory. If the Earth were flat, cats would have pushed everything off by now.
Yep.
Or I'll just say my favorite thing. My favorite flat thing is when Nathan Thompson finally gets locked up. When he's laying flat on his back after someone knocks him out. I am waiting for that day.
Right. Does anyone else have any favourite flat things? Or should we move on? That was disappointing. Pumpkin pie. It's not really flat though, is it? Better, the more depth, the better.
It's flat on top.
Flat does not mean
It's level.
Flat
on
does not
top.
mean non-dimensional.
I can't believe I got away with throwing that. I can't believe I've put you into that trap of flat and level, Dave.
You made Jenny argue. Right, moving on. The penultimate question today. Question 952. What do you think would be the worst flavour for a flavoured condom? I think there's a superfluous flavour in there.
A flavor what? What?
The worst flavour for a condom.
For a condom.
They come in flavors.
Cheese, because in that point, at that point, why bother having a condom?
Tikka masala.
Tikka masala.
I would think it would be more not a question of worst. It would be a question of dangerous. If you make it too tasty, there's going to be more biting going on.
You think? Not like you taste with your teeth.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you make one like toffee crisp flavored or something, you're in for a rough ride.
You've never had a blowjob, have you? It's not the teeth that you use.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you've got to.
Tell me I'm wrong.
Yeah, but you said no. If you're gonna get eaten, you need to use your teeth. No, right. I don't know what it means by worst.
Pineapple pizza flavored.
How would you have pineapple pizza flavored? That makes no sense. Right. The Rage says pickles. Nerdy says Buckley's flavour. Aunt Jer says broccoli. Mama Atheist says black licorice. She also says jizz. Ilya says spicy habanero. Sammy says penis flavoured.
Aunt Jer said my answer.
Aunt Jer says shit flavoured. Nerdia says durian fruit flavour. Ilya says, hey, pineapple goes on pizza. Aunt Jer says, rotting carcass. Do not respond! Do not rise to the bait.
Vomit.
Oh. The question is, what is meant by worst flavour? I'm struggling with what is meant by worst flavour. Is that so that you wouldn't want someone to encourage them to, or to put them off?
Hot sauce.
Yeah, the worst flavour is going to put them off, isn't it?
It puts them
buffalo
off.
wing sauce.
What?
Buffalo, like a spicy buffalo wing sauce, like really spicy.
Hot wings.
If you made If you made a condom that's flavored with ghost peppers, would it burn off your willy?
No, because the flavouring would be on the outside.
The flavour would be on the outside, wouldn't it?
How do you know?
You have to be very careful how you put it on.
Because that's how we've designed it.
Edard asks, what flavour is a penis?
It's penis flavored.
Sammy offered to show him.
I suggest apparently there is such a thing as cock flavoured lollipops. Maybe try one of them and you get an idea.
Is there?
Apparently so.
How have I not heard of these things?
Yeah. I've seen them like.
What?
I've seen those like the in South Beach. There's a lot of sex shops and a lot of like trans stores and stuff like that. They're very, very open, so they have a lot of gag stuff, and that's one of the things that you find, like penis lighters and stuff like that. It's an interesting thing.
There definitely are some sex gifts that can make you gag.
I love Jenny.
I don't think we have a conclusive answer to this question.
Actually, I know, I've got one.
What?
I've got the ultimate one here. It's kind of similar to what Granny's answer was, but Jilly Juice waterfall flavoured.
Oh, God.
Goop candle flavoured. Oh, she's not wrong. No, she's right. Aunt Jerry's right. It may be on the outside, but they're rolled up so it touches the inside. Inside touches the outside. That's going to hurt if you use ghost peppers.
Oh, dear.
A lot. Harmonica Man says jet fuel. Never Again says they never mind, they are designed to roll upon. Where that's going next isn't happening with hot sauce. Well, therein lies the problem. Right, next question, I think. Your last question. Question 953. Would you rather automatically bark like a dog when you feel threatened, or have your head blow up like a I can't even say the word, pufferfish? Santi!
If I could be as like poisonous as the pufferfish or something, it might be helpful. But I don't know about.
Yeah, is it all spiky when it blows up like a pufferfish?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that'd be handy. You just headbutt someone.
Is this just what I do, or is this a species-wide trait?
No, but just what you do.
No one else.
No one else.
The trouble is, it has to be like a big threatening dog. It couldn't be like bark like that and then just start yapping like a poodle.
You don't think those are threatening? You're a postman. Would you stick your hand if there was an Alsatian on the other side or a Chihuahua?
Probably in the Chihuahua, because most letterboxes are too bloody high for the Chihuahua.
But you know what I mean about fear of little dogs.
We are taught not to put our fingers through. We are taught not to put our fingers through letterboxes. Full stop.
No, I'm not surprised.
That is honestly the most common way people have had. It isn't necessarily the fact that the dog might get your fingers. Sometimes it's and I've had this sort of happen to me before, where they grab the letters or something and the letterbox comes down on your fingers.
Yeah,
that can be really. I mean, those old steel ones.
Yeah,
they could
spring on them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sammy says this is the best question ever, Dave. I don't see why. Ant Jar says bark seems more reasonable. Spooky says tricky question. Ilya says bark like a dog. Never Again says, I'm told I already growl. When do you growl? And bark, so I'll stay as is. My head is big enough. Joan says, I'm in favour of blowing up like a pufferfish. I don't think I've got a threatening bark. Nerdy says, I'm all for a blow-up head. That just sounds ridiculous. Not really? Sammy says...
I think the puff head.
Well, go on, Santi.
Oh, sorry. I think the puff head because it would be terrifying to people. like the bark,
Yeah.
No, there's a crazy person, but if your hair starts going like this, no matter if you're holding like a machine gun, this guy's gonna run. What's going on?
Yeah, he's just going to think you're a lunatic if you start barking, but when your head starts blowing up like a pufferfish, it's going to be pretty impressive.
People don't think it's odd when you bark at them. I've been testing this theory for over a year.
I think men would intentionally try to frighten their partner when receiving a blowjob.
With the bark or the puffer?
With the puffer head.
Stop blowing!
You're not supposed to blow as you would get.
Sammy says, the visuals I'm getting of the panelists is hilarious. Harmonica Man, I would already like to puff up like a pufferfish, but I would need big fangs too. There are no big fangs.
That was yesterday.
Yeah, that was yesterday. They were venomous. Sammy said...
Pufferfish are pretty much all lips.
Yeah, that makes sense. There's something... The Denobulan... I know that word and I can't say it. Denobulans? From Star Trek can puff their face up like a pufferfish when threatened. Denobulans?
I'm not really a Trekkie, so I can't
You don't like good sci-fi at all, do you?
Star Trek, to me, isn't that great sci-fi, but that's each to their own.
Could you pop the head when it's inflated? Yes.
You're just jealous because you can't act as good as William Shatner.
No one can act like William Shatner.
I can sing like him.
Oh no, please don't.
Antjer says, wasn't there a creature on Grimm that puffed up like a pufferfish when threatened? There's definitely been some in various different fantasy sci-fi stuff that have done it. I can't remember any of them in particular. So, Granny.
Bark like a dog.
Can you bark?
Arf, arf.
I'm terrified.
I'd go for the pufferfish. The bark isn't going to scare anybody.
But actually, my reasoning behind it is, in reality, when I am extremely frightened, I can't talk at all. A perfect example of this is I was having coffee with some women, and one of the women had a baby in a stroller, and she had her purse on the handle of the stroller, and the purse fell, and the handle of the purse was choking the child. And I could not talk. I just kept pointing at the child, going, ba, 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 ba. That's all I could do. But they looked where I was pointing. And yeah, a number of people have said, when I'm pointing and I can't talk, you need to look. Someone's life is being threatened.
Never again says, does Granny ever feel
But would
threatened?
that help the situation if you'd have just barked? If you'd have pointed at the baby and started barking, would that have helped the situation?
Well, someone next to them said, what is it, lassie? What is this?
At least it would have made more noise than what I was doing. At least it would have got attention faster.
Yeah. She's not wrong. Sammy says, I just shit my pants, Granny. And Spooky says the bark was adorable.
I wouldn't want to do the puffer thing because I'd be afraid of how many people's inner thighs I could hurt.
Do you often get scared when down there?
This is what you want, though. That's what you want, stuff like that.
Yes. Apparently, that's the cutest scary bark ever, Granny.
It's either that or it's like a yappy dog. They're not intimidating.
Yeah, Jack Russell type dog.
She's intimidating. Right, Jeff, what are you going to go for?
I can't be intimidating no matter what I do.
I think I'm going to go with a pufferfish string, to be honest.
Granny, you can be intimidating by looking at people.
Yes, that's true.
That frown can be intimidating. No, I will say not as intimidating as that death stare Manda gives me if I do the Jar Jar. But
I wanted Jenny. What did Jenny answer? She didn't want the pufferfish. So she wants the bark because she can bark, and she barked. That's good. Right. I think we're done. Bing.
are we?
Yes. We've survived.
So
And I get a day off.
What are we up to now then? 950.
We are up. The next question will be 954.
Right.
So I don't know whether or not... I think I'm going to make it to question 1,000 before I make it to episode 100.
Did you actually start at question 1?
Yeah.
When you first started? Yeah.
But there have actually been more questions than 954.
Has it?
Because,
All right.
yes, because firstly, on certain episodes I've screwed up the start and the end of the episode. So there is a number that's been used at the end of one episode and at the start of another. I've done that a couple of times. And episode 666 had multiples, 666.1, 0.2, 0.3, 0.4.
Right.
So we've probably had about 15 more over the averaged out over it.
Have you written question 1,000?
No, I've got no more questions. Normally I write questions in batches of about 40 or 50. So today, literally, these are the last of my questions now, so I need to go and write another 50, which will include question. Well, I won't know what question 1,000 is until the day before, because I write 50 questions, then I pick the episode's questions the night before or the morning.
Oh, I think you should write one specifically for number 1,000.
If anyone's got any good
Really
ideas,
special.
if anyone's got any good ideas for a question 1,000, send them to me, and I'll steal them. Or any other questions for that matter.
You've got to make it an impressive question. Number 1,000 has got to be a really impressive question.
It'll be a fucking anticlimax. We know
It will.
this.
It always will. It's always going to be an anticlimax. Right.
I don't think I should write it.
You don't think you should write it?
No, you'd get demonetized for sure. Permanently.
No, I don't reckon.
Actually, how many of these have been demonetized yet, Dave?
Of the ones that are, don't forget, we're only up to about the normal episodes. None. The questions that I've looked at in the list of ones that are released in an evening, which I think we're up to about question 270, only a handful, maybe a dozen.
Wow.
Which surprises me. I mean,
The amount
the
of times
cartoon,
I've been on here, I would have thought I'd instantly get you demonetized.
both the cartoon cat and the cartoon dog one were both demonetized.
Mm.
I have no idea why.
Yeah, I was
we
going to
might-
ask that. What do you have to do wrong to get demonetized?
It doesn't not advertiser friendly.
That's it.
That's it. No idea what that would be. Right. Anyway,
Yeah,
I'm going to say thank you to Godless Granny. Thank you to Santi. Thank you to Paul. Thank you to Jeff. Thank you to Jenny.
You're very welcome, dear.
Super chat before you go,
I know.
Dave.
And thank you very much to Morton for saying, "Oh look, I can pay Dave some donkey dollars now." Excellent. Donkey dollars now. Excellent. Now I don't know how to. Could anyone translate that into English? I'm slightly worried.
Danish kroner.
Oh, that makes sense. Excellent. Thank you very much. And on that note, I'll say thank you to. Oh, before we go, is there anyone got anything on? Given that it's Saturday, I've got an entire weekend.
Yeah, I've mentioned it earlier. I'll put the link into the stream for later, but it's in about 4 hours time.
I'm going back to bed after this. It's just been very exhausting.
About just under 4 hours time. I'm on with Ilya and Punchy's show. I think we're going to be having a look at.
Is Jeff talking? Have I lost sound again?
I am
Jeff's
talking.
Yep.
So yeah, sorry, I'm going to be on Ilya and Punchy's show in a few hours, which I'll put the link to in the.
And what you do tomorrow?
1 p.m. UK time. So what's that? What's that? About 8 a.m. Eastern, I'm guessing. I'm on Hissy's channel. We're doing asterisks at the Olympic Games. So,
Santi?
I'm gonna be on Secular Dungeons and Dragons at 3:30 p.m. Eastern, and on Wednesday I'm gonna have a deconversion interview with Rohit, which is a stand-up comedian from Germany that used to be Hindi.
Cool.
That should be interesting.
Jenny, when is movie night?
Friday nights. We had.
Oh, so we've already missed it.
It was a lovely time.
Granny?
I released a launch of my Teespring line yesterday, so if you haven't seen it, give it a view. Even if you're not interested in Teespring stuff, just give it a view anyway. And Tuesday at 7:30 Central, I always do a live stream, and so I will do another one. I haven't decided what the topic's going to be this week, but we'll have something.
Excellent. Paul, are you on anything?
No, I don't do any content, so I've got nothing to put out. But I was on Grumpy Old Dude's show last night. So if anybody's not seen that, nip over to Grumpy Old Dude's channel.
It was a great interview.
Oh, did you watch it? Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You enjoyed
That
it?
was good.
Yes.
Yeah, I enjoyed doing it. I was quite nervous going on, to be honest. But yeah, thoroughly enjoyed it.
Excellent.
You did awesome.
You did.
Thank you very much.
And we hope to see you more on shows.
Is it possible to become content with your content?
Yes. But I don't think it's necessarily a good thing. Right. Say thank you to everyone in the chat. We will see you on Monday, bright and late. Actually, normal time.
Thank you, Anshare. Sorry.
Bye-bye.